And at that point, I just break into tears, thanking God. It was as if there was a big load taken off my shoulder. Hello, and welcome to Soughtafter with Sonita. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how I stopped being desperate for marriage and became a Soughtafter. This is a part of my life that I am not very proud of, but I'm going to share it with you so that you see how God helped me in the midst of my weaknesses within that time. To discuss this, I'll let you know what made me desperate, how desperate I was, how I overcame it, and how I became a Soughtafter. Steps that you too can copy if you find yourself in a stage like that. When single, most people desire to get married, and when the marriage is not forthcoming at the time that they desire, there is a tendency to desire it so much that you become desperate for it. And I got to that point. It is a good thing to desire marriage, and there is a big difference between desiring marriage and being desperate for marriage, because being desperate is like your love for it have grown beyond just love and desire to anxiety. How did I know I was desperate? I experienced loss of joy for the fact that I was not married. In fact, the joy of the Lord was not with me. I was ready to sacrifice things that were so dear to me just to marry somebody. There was a point where I even got into a relationship with somebody that I knew very well that could not lead me spiritually. Just because I already wanted to be married. That was me compromising standards. There was a time I was even praying to God to change somebody and let the person become a Christian so that I could marry him. Because I was desperate. I wanted to marry already. My eyes were so fixated on marriage, so much so that any brother that was trying to be nice and loving, I started seeing his spouse in. Like I said earlier, I lost my joy. So it's like one of the brothers in my church noticed, and he used to pay special attention to me, trying to be caring. Maybe he thought I had a particular problem or what. For me, I was already just seeing the future husband in him, and that was terrible because I was not able to make friendships again based on any other thing apart from marriage. I was seeing a husband in most men that tried to be friendly. The envy of my already married friends was really there. I was fighting very hard in my heart to truly rejoice with them, because why? I thought that I should be in their place, and I also idolized marriage. There was a time I would be looking at marriage as if marriage was the solution to all my problems. So if this is how you view life, the way I was viewing life, ready to compromise, fixating on marriage, looking at marriage as the solution to all your problems, seeing a spouse in every new friend, ready to skip milestones like dating, cutting, and counseling just to settle down very fast. If you find yourself in that kind of situation, just know that you're desperate. I was desperate, but I did not know until one day when I was discussing on phone with a friend who knows me and knows my standards, and now he is seeing the way I am trying to fix a guy so that he should suit my standards so that I should marry him. My friend told me, "You are desperate." By then I was angry that he said that, but now I am thankful that he did. When you are desperate, you actually be angry when they tell you you're desperate. So if you're listening to this video now and it's offending you, I'm saying that you're desperate, then that may also be a sign that you're desperate, because it's a state that is hard to accept that you are in. I was there and I didn't want to hear it. A lot of things caused me to go into this state of desperation, and one of them was social pressure. I was interacting with friends that were mostly married, and I felt like, how could they all be married and I am not? Back in the family, I have 6 sisters, and all my elder sisters were already married. All eyes were on me. And then there was common news that once you have graduated and you're working, when you're not married, then it means that you will not marry again. And I had graduated, I was working, and I was not married. I was also afraid. I did not have trust in God that He will do it for me. Back in school, I was not married, but it was not so serious. But when I was posted and I started working in a lonely locality all by myself, I became lonely. I just thought that marriage will solve my loneliness. There are many of these reasons that can also make you desperate for marriage. One of them is even biological clock. Some people just see that, okay, very soon I'll reach a certain age where menopause will step in. I may not be able to have children again. Sometimes it's social media. You're looking through social media, like everybody have gotten married and you're the only one left. And the ones that are married, they are posting all these lovey-dovey pictures, and it's as if they are really enjoying something you're missing. So even the desire for emotional satisfaction is also there. Those are things that made me feel pressure to marry, and they are capable of making you to feel pressure to marry. I've seen situations where mothers are the ultimate source of the pressure. They're like, when are you bringing a man in this house? Oh, when are you bringing a woman into this house? The pressure is there, even from our peers. I remember one of my friends got married, and 1 month after her wedding, she called me and asked me that what am I still waiting for? And some societies even look at you as if something is wrong with you if you are not married at a certain age. You need to check whether you are desperate and check where the pressure is coming from so that you know how to handle it. So by the time somebody is telling you get married, tell them that it's not yet time. In God's time, He'll make things beautiful. Now, how did I overcome this desperation and became a sought after? The first thing I did, I stopped keeping company with ungodly people. When I was posted to where I was working the first year, I detached from my godly family and I made new friends. People that were interested about my physical well-being, but they were not interested in my spiritual well-being. So within that time, I did a lot of mistakes because of my desperation. That was the time where I jumped in and out of wrong relationships. Within that time, I even went back to people that had said no to their proposal to reconsider and see if I could marry them, because I was desperate and I was with the wrong company. After some time, I reconnected with my godly friends. I started fellowshipping with them. I started sitting with them, talking with them. In fact, God even blessed me with a very godly friend the next year at my station of work, and things changed. Because bad company corrupt good character. The second thing that helped me out was I reconnected with people who knew me, loved me, and could tell me the truth. So it is necessary to have people in your life who know you, they love you, but they are not afraid to tell you the truth. One of them was my mentor, and another one was our leader in the ministry. So I went and got into a relationship with a guy that was not going the same path that I was going, and I could not make a good wife for him. Besides, he was not capable of leading me spiritually. So while I was telling my friends, they were just like, wow, Sonny, that's great. Thank God you're in a relationship. But when I told our leader in the ministry, he looked at me and he said, Sonita, I never knew you could be so naive. That was all he said. I was angry. I was disappointed. A girl in love. Finally, you're with a man. You just want to marry. You don't even want anybody to say anything negative. But he said that to me. And that made me to go and rethink. I still tried playing one game on another. I now went to my mentor. I was updating him on the relationship. You know how you're trying to defend and show that this man is good for you, because something in your own head is telling you that that man is not good for you. And by the time I finished my presentation in a long message, he read the message, finished, and sent me a text. Sonita, you are desperate for marriage. I was angry, but then these two straightforward answers from people that truly loved me and wanted the good of my future rescued me from that relationship. I call it rescue because if I married him, I would have not made a good wife for him, and he would have not made a good husband for me. So one key thing, don't take away from your life people that can look at you in the face and tell you the truth without caring whether it hurt that time or not. People that care about your future more than your present ecstasy. Let them know what is going on with your life. I know it may be difficult, still tell them. They will help you out. Sometimes they save us from our weaknesses. Thirdly, I invested in my intimacy with God. This was a turning point for me. Investing in my commitment with God included investing in my prayer time, investing in studying the Word of God. It all started in fellowship and then extended to my personal life. There was a particular fellowship that was organized in Bamenda, and I went to attend. At that fellowship, there is this time that we call God focus time. But there was a way that our leader did it that day. He told each and every one of us to look for a personal space and sit alone and have communion with God from the word and prayer. I just went out. I sat under one big flower tree, opened my Bible to Isaiah 62, and I started reading. I just reconnected with my brethren then. I was not so much interested in the word. I wanted to read, but the word was not getting to me. I was not feeling the touch from the word. I said, let me just read, because I cannot be idling around while others are reading the word. In fact, everybody will know that I am not a committed sister. And I went there because I knew that many of our brothers in the ministry will attend. Maybe one of them will see a wife in me. Can you imagine? Yes. So I went there with a mindset of desperation. But then as I was trying to just read my Bible passively right to the end. And as I read the end of the chapter, verse 12 of Isaiah 62, I read a sentence that hit me. The sentence said that, and you will be called sought after, a city no longer deserted. It was as if God spoke to me personally. What I actually heard was God saying that, Sonita, you will be called sought after, a city no longer deserted. And at that point, I just break into tears, thanking God. It was as if there was a big load taken off my shoulder. God just told me that stop acting as if you're rejected and abandoned and you're looking for who will pick you up, because I will call you sought after. I will call you a city no longer deserted. The encounter till today is unforgettable for me. As I speak to you now, I feel goosebumps because the encounter was real. That is how I hear God from the word. So all that burden of loneliness, of stress, joylessness was taken off me. It's like God actually just gave me a new name. My new name from that point was sought after. I started seeing myself like the treasure that others have to seek after. I went into scripture, after that, right? And I saw different qualifications that God has given me, that I am a treasure, I am a pearl, I am the apple of God's eye, and whoever finds me finds a good thing and obtains favor. Means I'm a favor carrier, and I'm the holder of the crown. Whoever I marry, I am going to crown the person king. The person is becoming king because he married me. I'm not only becoming queen because I married him. It changed my self-view, it changed my mentality. So I became a sought after the moment I believed that word. The moment I took it personal. That is how I became a sought after. I am not saying that immediately I received that word from the Lord, men started acting from my hand from east, west, north, and south. It did not happen. The difference is it didn't matter anymore to me. I just desired marriage, but I was not taking desperate steps again. I continued to study the word and to pray in order to fuel that conviction. The more I studied the word and prayed, the conviction became stronger and stronger. Whenever worry wanted to come in, I will pray and God will give me peace. I'll also remind myself of those wonderful promises that God has told me in His Word, especially in the area of marriage. I will tell myself that I am a sought after. Even when physically I'm not seeing the men coming for me, the peace of God that was beyond human understanding took over me. It did not matter my circumstances anymore. I was not married, but I was a happy girl, excited with my life. And it even gave me the energy to start serving the Lord. That is another thing that will make you become a sought after. Start serving the Lord. I busied myself with the activities of God. Thank God for the good friend I had by then, Sylvian. She was such a blessing. The two of us will just be busy. When we come back from work, we look for something to eat. We go out sharing the gospel to people around the neighborhood. When we come back, we are praying for them. From then, we are preparing for our work. We have things to do in church. I took responsibility in church. When you're impacting people, you need more joy in yourself, even more than the joy you're giving the people. So I did not have time to worry. Even physically, I did not even have time to worry, not talk of emotionally, because by the time I get back from work, I have a meeting in church. By the time I finish the meeting in church, I come back, I have this prayer program, and then before I'm done, I'm tired. I barely have time to make food, eat, then prepare myself to sleep, and then get up the next morning. I have work, and that is it. I did not even have that time to worry. And amazingly, the person I am married to now found me in the vineyard of God and came after me. He's always saying that the thing that attracted him to me was the fact that I was serving the Lord. Remember, when I was desperate, I was too worried to be serving the Lord joyfully. Even when I was serving, my motive was to show myself, not to show Jesus. I was running helter-skelter, trying to get attention. But then I had forgotten about looking for attention. Then attention came for me because I was busy with Jesus. Do whatever God lays in your heart to do, but don't do it just to impress a potential suitor. Get busy with growth, work, and ministry. So I thank God for my life, that He helped me out of this crazy period. And I pray that He will help you out of your own crazy period too. Because if you do not intentionally work out desperation from your life, you might even marry faster, but you might go into one of those marriages that end in divorce, or that ending, somebody staying in their marriage as if they are staying in prison for the rest of their life.